This week marks National Vocation Awareness Week in the USA, time dedicated to promoting vocations to the priesthood, diaconate, and consecrated life. And here to tell us about his own vocation story is Father C.J. Mast of the Archdiocese of Denver, where he currently serves as chaplain of Bishop Machebeuf High School. Father, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming on. So I understand that you are a cradle Catholic, perhaps maybe rebelled a little bit in your faith as a young adult. It happens. But ultimately, you reconnected with Christ in part because of Focus Ministry. Can you tell us more about that and your faith journey as a young adult?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I was in high school, my senior year, I kind of went through a depression and I had a really tough year. And at the end of that, I really started questioning the faith. And as I was beginning college, I went to Colorado State University. My first year, I said, I'm going to give myself 1 year to really see if the Catholic faith is true. And if not, I want to leave it because I don't really understand. I don't really have that belief. And praise God, I was actually able to be introduced to Focus. And it was like meeting the right people at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like such a profound experience that led you into considering the priesthood. Tell us about that moment in particular.
Absolutely. So so after my freshman year of college, I was committed to Christ. I was committed to following him. The idea of priesthood, though, really scared me, to be quite honest. And I didn't have any trust in him for his plan of life. And so in the middle of that summer, I ended up teaching a program for the Archdiocese called Totus Tuus. And in the middle of that, there was a priest that I met. He was newly ordained, who took us all climbing a 14er, Mount Columbia. And we get up to the top and this massive storm just comes in and it's lightning. We have to come down as quickly as possible. We weren't able to celebrate Mass. And so we had to come down kind of this unsafe route. It was pretty steep, filled with a lot of large, loose rocks. And I remember someone above me yelling, "Rock." And I look up and there's a 4-foot boulder coming towards me. It ends up jumping over my head and then ends up hitting my leg, which was kind of sticking up in the air, and crushes my calf muscle. So this priest came down. He thought I had died, honestly. And he looks at me and he goes, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Sure, I trust you, sure." And then he says, "Do you really trust me?" And quite honestly, it was at that moment, it was as if Jesus Christ was asking me that question.
Father CJ, that is a beautiful story. Almost out of time, but quickly, I want to ask you, do you have any advice for those who may be discerning?
Yeah, briefly. I think when I talk to high school guys, especially about discernment, I say a lot of times we might be discerning out of fear, but really we should be discerning out of love. Because vocation is an answer to where God is calling us to love in the midst of the world and not to run away from something.
Well, Father CJ, thank you so much for coming on and telling us your story. We appreciate it, and God bless you.